There he is. There he is.
Oh, got a double off wolf out here.
Dude. Yep. All right. Learning to double check that shit now.
To Gas Buddy.com, the best fuel prices in Lake Placid again are at the Marathon Station on Highway 27. Sunday lowest price gas was $3.05 and diesel was $3.29. Locals know it as the Old Rodney's. A new addition since Rodney sold the station is now they have a place inside where you can get a fresh breakfast sandwich to keep you going. They also have LP gas for your grill. Stop by and see what the new owners are doing to make things awesome.
Black garbage can. That's it. Put beer in. Okay. And then drink. That's the fact. Sorry.
Drinking in the AM's a sin. Old Cracker's just hanging with his old friend. Beer for breakfast, what I said. Beer for breakfast, make it two. Pop that top, pop that top, pop that top again. Pop that top, pop that top, pop that top again.
Good morning. We would like to remind you that Beer for Breakfast morning show is purely entertainment. Also, if you find yourself troubled, let me introduce you to our friend Joan.
Hi everybody, it's Joan Kaler. I'm in God's country, Florida. It's so beautiful. I just want to stop by and say hello and let you know that I have my Florida license, telehealth, so I can help anybody in Florida. And that goes from Tallahassee to the Keys, wherever you are, even if you're across the street. So just check out Joan Kaylor, KAYLOR.com, and see what you think. I'd like to be of service to you. So thank y'all. Love it down here. You all are the best. Thank you.
Welcome to the Beer for Breakfast morning show with the Lake Placid legend, Toolman Tim, and me, the obscure Ron, and I like to keep it that way. We're coming to you live and local from the Obscure Destinations Studios in Lake Placid, Florida.
Come and get it.
No, not that Lake Placid. Stick around, have fun, laugh while you can, and remember to like and subscribe and tell your friends about us.
Beer for Breakfast morning show is brought to you by Ground Up Remodeling. Tim will take care of your needs from the ground up. Truly one of the best in Lake Placid, and we wouldn't let anyone else work on our handyman or home improvement needs. Call Tim today.
Good morning, everyone. Hope everyone had a good weekend. Hope no one got hit by drones. I've been warning people about them drones for years and years and years. Y'all thought I was playing. Them drones are going to come get you. And they just starting now. They better do something because they make it down here to Florida. We're going to make our own drone force. Me and Tim will stand out there on the corner and they fly by. We both got some way we can get them down. It only takes so much.
I like moving targets.
Not only that, I'm terrified. I already think the drones are after me. So this just proves my point.
There would be no skylights in our
There
studio.
would not be anything. No. We just had this roof replaced 3 months ago, and it wouldn't take but 20 minutes of me thinking there's a drone over it. It'd have to be time for a new roof again. Come on.
I can see it now. The landlady. What's all those holes in the roof? Drone misses.
Hey, misses hell.
Oh, yeah. What's that big pile of scrap metal on her roof? That'd be the
They
drone.
say it's illegal to
Yeah. Can't
shoot them. Yeah.
The one guy got away with it. I forget where he was. They were talking about it. He got fined $5,000, but he could have done jail time. But they made him pay for the drone. It was $5,000. That'd be a pretty goddamn nice drone.
It had to be. But you know where I bet you could get away with it? Polk County.
Polk County.
I bet you go over to
Grady
Grady
probably
Judd.
give you some bullets.
Go over to Grady Judd. I bet you fly one over Grady Judd's house, he'll shoot that shit.
Oh yeah, he's probably got a freaking
He got a
goddamn
drone
50
parole.
cal out back.
Oh, he
on a
probably does.
turret.
On a car, on one of his cop cars. One of his sheriff's cars.
He probably drives the swap mobile for his personal
He
car.
probably does. I think I saw either him. I saw an interview with him and his wife, and I think he's got like an old Andy Griffith police car, kind of like Lucky's on.
Oh yeah. They redid it for him.
Yeah, looks like like Lucky's car on.
Yeah, it's got the bubble gum
Yeah,
light on the roof to hold you up.
yeah. You know who I'm talking about on Lucky, not Lucky. Yeah, Lucky. On Freiburger's show, isn't that Lucky?
Oh yeah, Lucky Costa.
Yeah. Okay. See, I was getting.
There's a guy that comes into the Moose Lodge that looks exactly like him. You know how if you see someone and you say you look just like so and so,
Mhm.
and then you show that picture to the person, they go, "Well, I don't see it."
Hmm.
This guy showed him the picture, and he goes, "Holy shit, that does look like me."
Lucky's smart, man.
Yeah,
He's got.
he's on like 4 or 5 different shows, but I think they're canceling all them.
They're canceling them all.
They're ruining
Motor
Motor
Trend,
Trend Network.
Yeah, I agree with you. That new guy, that new car guy, he calls it spark plugs, sparkulators, and
Yeah,
it's almost like maybe he is just out there talking to himself when he gets bored. Maybe he's doing his own camera work.
who knows?
I mean, but you know who I really liked was that guy that was ate up with the autism about cars. Mangione or whatever his name. I don't remember his name, but he would he did junkyard.
Oh, Gold, yeah.
I like how he knew everything about cars.
Yeah, he did. He could walk in and take 6 different cars and know what to look for, what year to find this.
Which
and that.
radio, if that was the wrong radio.
Yeah.
I mean, he was like,
Is this a real GTO? Let's see. We can climb underneath.
oh yeah,
Check the spring shackle.
Exactly. We can see how many rungs are on that spring right there. We'll know exactly if this is a.
Yeah.
He was like the Rain Man of cars, man. I can't believe that they took that off the air because it was one of the most interesting. I guess you run out of graveyard junkyards after a while.
Yeah. Graveyards.
Graveyard, yeah, that's what they are now. Rust yards.
But I used to like that show when they'd play 4 or 5 in a row.
Mm-hmm.
You couldn't get me away from the TV. Hell, I'd just sit there and pee my pants so I wouldn't have to get up.
About the only show that Toni will watch with me that's a car show. Well, we'll watch any car show. Like if it's like a car show where they show old cars and hyped up cars and all those, she'll watch those.
Yeah.
She won't watch the auctions with me. She hates those.
Yeah, my wife does too.
But no, she'll go to the auctions. But my wife's got a chronic spending problem. But see, Toni likes muscle cars. That's why she had the Camaro, and that she likes that.
Right.
She likes those old cars. These new cars and stuff, she don't have no use for that except for her car. But
The only new car that I ever really enjoyed was it was a Z06, bright yellow. Imagine that.
yeah.
My buddy says to me, he was a car dealer, and he says, "Let's go to the auction." He says, "I want you to ride in a Z06." I'm like, "It's
What
just a
is that?
Corvette."
Oh, is it a Corvette?
Yeah. I'm like, "What's the big deal?" He says, "I could put $100 bill on the dash, punch it, come through 2 to 3 gears, and I guarantee you can't take that 100 off the dash." I'm like, "Bullshit, my arms are freaking 6 feet long, dude. I can reach the dash." He took off in that thing and it stuffed you in the seat
Wow,
right up to
really?
third gear. You were hauling ass. When you're at third gear, you're doing about 120.
Wow.
I took it down this side road and scared the living shit out of my wife's sister.
I freak out with all that G-force torque shit, man.
I love it. I've always wanted, you know how they have simulators for everything these days?
Yeah.
I've always wanted to experience a simulator that would give you the G-force of acceleration in a dragster.
Oh, now that would be.
That's like massive
Yeah,
G-forces.
I'd like to see what that is compared to like
NASCAR or something.
no like the Blue Angels.
Yeah.
Because it's got. I mean, it's almost because they're flying quick, you know.
Yeah, I think the airplanes have more G's.
Yeah, and also if they're diving, you know, if
sure,
they're doing
sure,
a dive, then yeah.
Yeah, they can make.
But I had a friend that
pass out.
I had a friend that worked the maintenance on the Panama City Blue Angel ones. He was one of the guys. There probably 300 of them, you know, at one time. But he did part of the maintenance on them. He said those things are in such tip-top shape, man.
Oh,
they wax them every time they land. They're waxed.
Cool.
But I also watched a guy wax a whole helo one time that landed on the back of our ship. And his job, I mean, he just jumped off, and that was like, it was like everybody else went to the galley, had a cup of coffee. Not this guy. He jumped down, got the spray cans out, and started waxing that shit. But they say it makes him fly better. I don't know anything about flying.
You know about falling.
I can jump out of an airplane, but I don't tell me how it got. Don't ask me how it got up there. I don't know that. I don't know anything about how that shit works.
Yeah, the aerodynamics with the lift and all that. That's beyond my comprehension.
Yeah, I still have a problem trying to understand how a wing on the back holds your 4-cylinder Honda Civic down to the ground. But they're fast though, man. You get some of those little Japanese cars from Japan.
Oh yeah,
them bitches don't even joke. They don't even sell them here. You have to special order them.
I just saw a car that was a $2 million car. It was an exotic sports car, and at 100 miles an hour, it produced enough G-forces pushing the car down. And the guy actually said, this is one of those cars that you could drive it on the ceiling if you could get to 100. That's how much force it has. It will push itself to the ceiling, to the ground, to a wall.
Really?
Yeah. If you can go 100 miles an hour, you can go upside down and keep going. It's planted. That's cool.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to imagine. My head doesn't work that way. It's too early. I've only been up since 2:30.
Only,
yeah, I got a good. I slept all the way to. Well, I got up at 2. Dog had to pee.
So did I.
Yeah.
Me and the dog must have the same schedule.
You had the same bathroom. I don't know.
Right outside the back door.
Probably. He went. He was doing something last night. Toni let him out at about midnight. And I guess he started going your way, and she's like, "No, get over here, get over here." And I'm like, "People are trying to sleep." She goes, "Oh, it's my dog. I don't want him running off." I'm like, "He can't see her here. He ain't going too far."
Yeah, you can yell all you want.
Cook some chicken and rice. He'll come home.
He can smell.
Yeah, his bird-nosed dog is not hurting for content. But yeah, he's doing pretty good. That new stuff, the heat spot stuff for his back.
Yeah, that looks like it's working.
It stopped him from itching almost immediately, which helps me sleep because to not yell and wake me up and startle me.
Right.
She claps her hands when he's itching, when he scratches.
Oh yeah.
Trust me, that sounds like guns in my head. Even though she doesn't, I don't say nothing, but I'd rather her yell. I'd rather her yell. Then I'm like,
I'm used to my wife yelling.
I go through this whole time of I tell everybody when I do my nighttime chats, I say, well, no, I don't myself have PTSD. Then I'll go to sleep and Toni's up there clapping her hands in the middle of the night. It sounds like a machine gun. I'm like, shit, maybe I do.
You're rolling on the floor.
Rolling on the floor, reaching for my sidearm. What the fuck?
Doing the army crawl to the corner of the couch, tucking and rolling.
I might need to talk to our psychiatrist lady about that.
Yeah, really.
Hey, Joel, let's go.
She can get you some crazy money out of the government.
No, I don't want that.
Why not?
Because they take your guns away.
Oh, can't have that.
No, not that I have any guns, but if I had guns, I sure as hell wouldn't want them to label me crazy.
Too late.
I'm labeled
Just
crazy.
listen to the show in the
I'm
morning.
not certified yet. No kidding.
I have no
I'm not
official
certified.
documentation,
Right.
just suspicion.
Prove it. Okay, give us a psych eval. No, I'm good. I don't know. I don't think I'm crazy. I just think that I'm aware.
Yeah, I went to the hospital here a month ago or so, and the doctor that said that I was a chronic alcoholic and that nothing was wrong with me except that I was going through the DTs, which fuck him.
Well, that
So
wasn't
anyway,
true.
he don't like me. So the last time I was there, lo and behold, he happens to be the doctor on call in the emergency room. He said like 2 words to me. The nurse kept getting sent in, and I says to her, I says, that doctor doesn't like me. I says, because he thinks I'm a drunk. I says, I don't know why he would say something like that. I says, we only do a morning show called Beer for Breakfast.
That's probably why he thinks it. He probably heard our show and go, great.
Yeah, that boy ain't doing nothing.
That's what they're all a bunch of drunks, but we're not. If we were, then we wouldn't get nothing done, and our wives would leave us. That's usually how that goes.
We're practicing.
I'm practicing for when I retire the next time, because I retired from the military, then I sold my cane company and retired from that, and then my wife got a new idea.
And now you need a cane.
I got Jesus. Have you seen how many? I've got them all over the place, laying everywhere. I have a prototype of a fishing pole cane.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it had a rod and reel on it, and I have the pictures of it somewhere. Not saved on this computer. Tony's got them, but yeah,
A cane that does everything.
it does. It's got the. It doesn't have the. That one doesn't have the gun in it. But it does have a fishing rod, and it's got a packet that goes on the bottom for your hooks and line and everything. But it does have a knife, so you can fillet that bitch right there when you get it.
Yeah, I like that one you gave me. I just people
my canes sold real well because they were truly self-defense canes.
They're cool.
Um,
The one you gave me, I always tell people, I says, this cane's got a special feature. And every single one go, it's got a flash bolt in it. I go, no, much better.
I don't know.
And I give it a spin and I pull out that 12-inch blade and they're looking at me like, holy shit.
Yeah, and yet they're like, oh, great, Tim's got the knife. And we're in the American Legion, Tim's got the knife.
And this guy here says, you want me to put a good edge on that?
Yeah,
and I'm like, no, I do not need to cut my hand off.
I'll put a good edge on it for you.
I'm happy with the duller edge, so I can't intentionally cut myself.
I need to make a couple more of those too.
It'll still pierce something.
I think I'll do that. I think that's what I'll do for Christmas is I'll make me some more of those.
Be cool if it was like balanced and you could throw it like a throwing knife.
You probably could if you learned the balance on it. You could,
because it is quite heavy.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because I got that pewter handle on it.
Yeah.
But if I put a smaller, lightweighter handle on it, but nobody buys those. They want it to look fancy.
Oh yeah, I get lots of compliments.
Especially if they know how much I'm going to charge them for it. They like it to look. They like it to look fancy.
It better look like $100 worth.
Well, what they this lady that I'm friends with in Alabama, she wanted one. She bought one, I think, and I said, she said, I'm worried though because I think anything over a 4-inch knife is illegal.
That's only if you see it.
I said, well, it's also concealed. It's also considered a concealed weapon.
Yeah. So hey, if you're gonna break the law, you might as well break
Run
the
that shit, you know. But you know, I'd rather. I have one of my cop friends said, if you carry a softball bat in your car, you make sure that you got a glove and ball in there.
Yeah, because it's a weapon otherwise.
Yeah, if you don't have a glove and ball in there, then it's a weapon.
If you're carrying a hammer around, like you put a hammer in your front seat, it's a weapon.
If you go into my little truck and look under any of the seats, there's knives underneath there. There's probably a pistol or two, but there's damn sure knives underneath there because me and Toni will go fishing. We'll be walking somewhere, or we'll be going for a walk, and there'll be a nice pond, and me and Toni will stop and go fishing. And if it's a good looking catfish, we'll clean that shit and take it home and fry it up right there.
There you go.
But so I got fillet knives. I got to go clean that car out, man, because you know.
Like to see the carpet once again.
Well, you can kind of see the carpet. Car's not dirty. It's just I'm cluttery. As you can see, your side, I keep your side clean. My side is better.
Yeah, it is.
It's better. You can actually see the fish tank now.
Yeah.
It needs to be cleaned. I'm telling you, once I get a snail will eat that algae, and within 2 days he'll be a 5-pound snail. Then we can eat him.
What are you having for dinner? Escargot.
I found this apple snail out there in the fish tank. He'll be fine.
There's got to be like snails in the lake somewhere.
You know, it makes me sick because I pulled one up when I was pulling weeds up about 3 months ago, and I didn't even see him until it was too late. And he was a good
Decent
silver
size,
dollar. Yeah, he was big.
huh? Yeah, he'd have cleaned that whole tank.
Yeah, he'd have had it. It would have been great. I mean, it would have been. He'd have cleaned it up and it wouldn't look so yucky. But I told Tony.
It looks like the lake. Yeah,
That's what I told Tony.
that's his
I said,
natural
I said,
habitat.
it's not like I bought those fish. I caught those are minnows. I went out there with my net and caught them. And I'm so cheesy. I toss a couple pieces of bread out and swoop. And I run back up here. Zoom, and I run up there. I figure I know when I first moved here, I was doing that. And I'm thinking, Tim thinks I'm retarded. Doing this crazy shit.
Well, you thought I was a spy.
I'm not too sure you're not. Either that or a Fed. I don't.
I've never been affiliated.
I've
with
never
the
been
government.
affiliated with the government anyway. That was the best part of that song.
Yeah.
Tim has never been affiliated with the government.
That's why
That's why Ron trusts him, even if he doesn't like grits. So, you know, I love fried catfish with eggs and cheese grits, scrambled eggs and cheese grits. Oh my god, man! Oh my
Shameful
god!
shame.
Oh my god! That's just how you eat.
Oh my gosh. The Pussification of America was the Grinch cartoon that I watched
Right.
2 days ago. Yesterday I watched the live kind of Grinch one that had people just with costumes.
Costume. Yeah.
So that one was pretty good. But it was a different one than I remembered. It was a lot more intricate. So there must be numerous Grinch that stole Christmas versions.
I'm guessing there must be. I never saw. I saw the one as a kid. That's the only one I
Yeah.
ever saw.
And I'd like to make a comment.
Go ahead.
I have not heard, as of yet, which now that I say this, is going to ruin it, the Mariah Carey Christmas song as of yet. I
Yeah.
made it this far, and I listen to the radio in my truck constantly.
Yeah, I don't.
But I listen to this one station off the West Coast, and it's like a more of a rock station.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, one of their little intro lines is, remember this song when MTV used to play music, and then they'll play like an older
Yeah.
song.
I don't know what happened to MTV.
It turned into a joke.
No, it was just weird. And I remember when they started doing that, they came up with VH1. I think they got rid of VH1.
Yeah, I don't think that's on there.
I used to love pop-up rock, and they would play this, or pop-up music,
Mm-hmm.
and they'd play the song, then they would throw up song facts in like a bubble,
Oh yeah,
and
yeah.
they would throw up all these facts.
Yeah, that
And
disappeared.
I
Too.
loved that. That was so fun. And almost any given Saturday or Sunday, you could turn on VH1, and it would be like a marathon of one artist.
Oh yeah.
You know, like it would be Elton John all weekend or Rod Stewart. I'm a big Rod Stewart fan. I really like almost all of his stuff.
Yeah, he's cool.
I heard he's pretty much a mean little, nasty little son bitch. Him and his son got into a problem down in Palm Beach here last Christmas or
Oh
Christmas
yeah, I
before.
remember that.
They told him he wasn't going to buy any more liquor. He goes, "You want to bet?" So apparently
Like, do you know who I am?
Apparently, we should invite him to the Beer for Breakfast morning show.
There you have it. He'll bring his own.
or if he wants to fight, because he's so old that he can go to prison.
I could probably take him.
Well, I'm pretty sure about that. I don't,
I'm pretty old.
ask me my musician question.
Is he gay or is he not gay?
Absolutely. Well, there used to be a running joke that he had his stomach pumped from male semen.
Oh, I heard that too.
That wasn't true. They say it wasn't true, but I mean, I don't know. I liked him, and he had a lot of women. I mean, and so did Mick Jagger. I'm telling you.
Yeah,
So did David Bowie.
I'm wondering about the Jagster. I mean, he might be going both ways. He's just a
Oh,
little too
definitely.
la-di-da for
Oh
me.
yeah, he's going a little bit both ways. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not.
The scrawniest little shit with
Oh.
them goofy lips, and women think he's hot.
Another. Well, I mean, if you give me a couple $1 million a month, and women will think I'm hot. And that's saying some shit right there.
Good point.
Okay,
Money
maybe
talks.
it might be $5 million a month it would take for me to be hot, but I could get there.
Right? As long as the right dollar value comes with it, you could be the one. I could be the top in the top 10 sexiest men in America list again.
Man, if you give me enough money, I can.
We take the list.
I mean, for God's sake,
We'll be 1 through 10.
I'll tell you what. Money and power make amazing things happen. Money and power caused Ted Danson to marry Whoopi Goldberg in the 80s.
Oh my God, I couldn't believe that matchup.
Now, if you just felt like you needed to marry a black woman, I can name a million beautiful black women.
And she is not in the list.
It's not on the list. I don't care if she voted for Trump 100 times. I'm not a fan of her.
I don't care what
I
she
like
can
that.
do, man. She might be the wildest sex puppy you ever had.
She would have to be some kind of freak.
Beyond freak.
I'm telling you,
She'd have to teach me things I never even heard of.
I
And I've
wanted to
heard of
hear
a lot
of.
of that.
I was in the Marines. I heard a lot of things.
It's like, man, she ought to read a book if she knows something I don't.
I bet she does though. Jabba the Hutt looking freak. But
she could be the
I'll bet
female.
you. I'll tell you.
What's your monster that you like?
Bigfoot.
Bigfoot. She's the female Bigfoot.
No, don't do that, man. Don't do that, man.
I'm ruining it for
Don't
you.
do that. Don't do Bigfoot like that. No, I'm a
Yeah,
fan.
he's cooler than that.
Yeah, Bigfoot wouldn't.
He
Ted
wouldn't
Danson
marry.
might do her, but Bigfoot wouldn't do her. Bigfoot would just eat her.
Yeah.
Bigfoot would just say, "Oh, well, we're going to roast her on the roaster."
And the cool thing about Ted Danson is he wears a toupee. He always has. And he tells you he does, like
Yeah.
in talk shows. But as he progressed into getting older and older, his toupee grayed just exactly like the rest of his hair. You know how much money he must have spent on getting that toupee perfect every time?
I'm sure, but I have a friend in Ocala, and he owns Lowe's Cabinets. Rainbow Kitchens is what I think it's called. Awesome guy.
Gay or not gay?
No, definitely not gay.
Rainbow? Come on.
That was before all that. He
Uh-huh.
named it before that. But
Yeah,
'cause
like-
they're over in Rainbow Springs. But
Oh, isn't that special?
he always wore a hat. He carried a brush in his pocket. This is a 50-something-year-old man. He was a good-looking dude, though. He knew he could pull it. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So he's in there. We were on a Saturday. He asked me to help him, so I'm helping him put in this countertop. And he takes off his hat, lays it on this lady's counter, reaches in and pulls his thing up and says, "Do you got a paper towel I could have? Because this sweat's killing me." That woman damn near fainted. She had
Took his hair
idea. She had no idea. She thought this poor guy just scalped himself.
Well, I went into
Because they look so real now,
Oh yeah, some of them are really good.
if you can afford them.
I went into the restroom up the American Legion yesterday, and here's this guy, like brushing his teeth with his finger. And you know, when you walk in and somebody's doing like personal grooming in a men's room, it kind of catches your eye. And this is a very small bathroom. And of course, now he feels that he must explain. So he says to me, he goes, "I just hate having things in my teeth." I says, "Yeah, me too. That's why I can just take them out and rinse them."
That's fucked up, really. I think the thing that drives me craziest is long eyebrow hairs on when my eyebrow hair gets so long.
Oh yeah, my wife will pluck one right out of my fucking head, and that feels good.
Well, I'm telling you now, if you keep plucking them, you'll end up like me and won't have no eyebrow. It'll look like somebody shaped them bitches.
You want to see a tear come to a grown man's eye? Pluck a nose hair,
Oh,
just
boy.
one.
Don't I know it?
That'll just. I don't care if you're the Hulk, man. You will. It'll draw a tear out of your eye.
But you know, if you pull 3 or 4 at one time, it doesn't do that.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to be as tender. I don't know why.
I don't either, but that just goes to show you how old we are.
Yeah. Never had hair growing out of every orifice of my body until I turned.
Except for my head.
60.
I don't have any hair on my damn head. But that's just the way it goes, I guess. I always wondered if I was gonna. They always said, if your dad's bald, that doesn't mean you'll be bald. You have to see if your mom's dad was bald.
Right, comes from the other side.
It was all bald.
They were bald on both sides.
I was
in my
like, oh, I'm
family,
done. It's over for me. I'm gonna go bald. But I made it until I was probably about 45.
No shit.
Yeah. I did pretty good until
So
I
that
was
was
about
just a
45.
few years ago.
Yeah. 10. So I've been, but then I started shaving my head before I went. I never let my hair get more than an inch and a half long anyway. I mean,
Yeah.
It was just so much easier.
You should see me in some of my old pictures where I had hair down to my
I
shoulders.
saw you as Alice Cooper. That was a good.
Oh, yeah. That wasn't my hair, though.
No. Yeah, but you could have passed, though. I mean, from 5 feet away.
Yeah, at a glance.
The mascara was a nice touch.
I went in one Halloween into our local, when I lived in New York, in a local convenience store to get some beer. And I was already dressed up as Howard Stern for the party I was going to. The girl that's behind the counter physically and literally has known me for many years. And when I walked in, she's freaking out. I mean, she's like looking at me. I get up there with the beer and I go and hand her the money. And she goes, "Oh my God, are you really Howard Stern?" And I says, "Nancy, you know me." And
Yeah,
she
but
goes,
you're tall, though, man.
"Yeah." And she says, "Well, who are you?" And I says, "I'm Tim, the guy who comes in here every day and buys the same beer every day."
You know, these store clerks, a lot of them,
Yeah, that's the brightest bulbs on the tree.
they done a lot of drugs. You know.
She must have had some good shit that day, but I guess I was convincing because I
Yeah.
had the long hair for it. I had the long leather jacket. I did not wear the assless chaps. Everybody bet me I wouldn't. And they won.
I didn't know that he wore those. Oh, for the fart man.
Yeah, and the one move in its movie,
Yeah.
he wore them too.
I watched it. I liked the movie. I read the book. I literally read the book, and then I watched the movie.
And which one was better?
The book.
That always.
No, the book was only better because you didn't have to see him every 2 seconds in it. And I watched that Weird Al documentary. That was the movie of his life.
Yeah,
That sucked ass, man.
really.
It sucked ass. It wouldn't have been so bad if they hadn't have over promoted the shit out of it.
Oh, they made it more of a
Yeah.
promotion.
Yeah, it was on the Roku channel a month or two ago.
Yeah.
And finally I just felt so browbeaten down. I was like, well, I better watch this thing. Maybe if I watch it, they'll stop. Sometimes I'll watch a commercial and I feel like calling them and going, listen, if I buy this fucking air conditioner, will you stop doing the commercial? Is this what it's going to take?
Yeah, really. I'll buy two.
If I have to buy this air conditioner, can I stop getting the feed to my house? Because I'm really tired of this commercial.
Yeah, I went through that same shit yesterday where they played the same commercial every other.
The Oreo commercial again?
No, I haven't seen the Oreo one since they played it 5 times in a row. Black Santa, Oreo eating bastards.
If you got a black Jesus, you can have a black Santa.
I'm not buying either one.
I don't know.
Hey, I've had my come to Jesus moment, and he's a white guy with a beard.
Because he looks like you. My neighbor had a black Jesus, a black Obama, and he's white. Yeah, she had a black Jesus, a black Obama, and a black Santa Claus in her house.
So was Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson I feel sorry for Michael Jackson. I don't think he was a better ass at all.
Nah.
I think
he just had a fucked up childhood. And
I think he had a fucked up father.
Because he had the money to do it.
I think he had a fucked up father. Hey, I want you to hear something real quick and tell me what you think. This is it's not necessarily fully to do with our show, but this is how Megyn Kelly felt about the George Stephanopoulos thing when they accused Donald Trump of being a sex offender using the R word is not allowed on YouTube. But here you go. Well, she's going to use it, so there it goes anyway.
What a kind, sensitive man who clearly cares deeply about women and their sexual assault allegations. Thanks for being an ally, George. I see how concerned you are that victims might not come forward if they are publicly attacked by their rapist or his defenders. To be sure, that is a very real concern. It happens all the time, which you know, because you invented it. Remember? When you created a whole command center designed to smear Bill Clinton's sexual assault and rape accusers so you could elevate him right into the presidency. The attorney representing many of Bill's accusers, and there were many, George, Juanita Broderick, Kathleen Willey, Paula Jones, Jennifer Flowers, to name just a few, said you and James Carville, at Hillary Clinton's direction, formed a so-called War Room, whose purpose was, quote, to destroy any woman that would challenge Bill Clinton. You know the War Room. They made a whole movie about it.
George Stephanopoulos. I'm Director of Communications. Bush was on the defensive. Another good night for Bill Clinton. 3 debates, 3 wins. I guarantee you that if you do this, you'll never work in Democratic politics again.
Such a tough guy. This attorney points out that you don't like to talk about this particular behavior, George. Maybe that's why you skipped it in your discussion with Nancy Mace. But as you know, private detectives were hired. The women say they were threatened, and they were publicly shamed by you.
And you know what they say is,
I wonder how she really feels.
I know, you remember, she's the one that attacked Trump so hard. I'm waiting for her to come out and say, yes, it is true. Rosie O'Donnell is a cow. But, because she's the one that attacked him on stage for that. But I think that she is hitting right home, because Juanita Broderick said that after Bill Clinton sexually assaulted her, that Hillary Clinton went up there and said, "Here, put some ice on this, honey." And I follow her on Twitter. But anyway, here's some more of that. I just find it interesting.
And your well-funded team. Did you worry then that this behavior might shame victims from coming forward? You admitted in your own memoir that Hillary Clinton told you about one accuser, quote, "We have to destroy her story." Did you object? Did you say, "That's shaming"? No. In fact, you later described yourself as Bill Clinton's, quote, "enabler." But sir, how could you have enabled and defended a man like this?
And that's what I say. That's how crazy. That's how crazy. If you're big and powerful, I guess nothing really matters. You can just do whatever the heck you want.
Well, in my opinion, Uncle Bill was not a bad guy. If you were married to Hillary, you'd be getting some on the side too, because that is one mess of a woman there.
I don't think she was an unattractive woman in her youth.
I don't think she had.
I think that
nothing going.
I think she's maybe. I think she maybe belongs on the LPGA, if you know what I'm trying to say. I think she's probably a female golfer.
I don't want to see her in a little shirt.
No, me either. But most of those women are like the women tennis players.
Yeah, they're gay or not gay.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say, her best friend is that lady whose husband messed with little kids, Anthony Weiner.
Oh no shit.
No, her best friend is her best friend, quote, air quote, best friend is his wife. Huh. And they're very rarely seen apart. But I don't know what it is about presidents' kids being so ugly. But now, one of the Bushes, even though the Bush twins were twins, they weren't identical. One of them looks like somebody beat her in the head with a fucking fork. And then you got
fell the ugly tree and hit every branch.
And then you got Jimmy Carter's daughter.
Oh, yeah, she wasn't too hot.
And then you got Chelsea Clinton.
Oh,
good God!
I wonder whatever became of her. She probably married with Chelsea? Kids, and yeah.
She's on. She can't stay off of Twitter calling all of us Nazis. She's over there. She's just like her mama. It's starting to look like her mama.
Oh, good Lord!
But it looks like her daddy's George Soros, the way that they look. But Bill Clinton's the same age. Actually, I think Sammy Hagar is older than Bill Clinton.
Really?
You put them next to each other, it makes me want to buy some of Sammy Hagar's tequila. Because the Sammy Hagar don't look too damn bad.
There must be something in the mash.
And I'm telling you, back in the day, when I was a kid, he was the Red Rocker way before Van Halen. Oh, yeah. I think the only thing I have against Sammy Hagar,
when he became Van Hagar,
yeah, because he should have if they didn't like David Lee Roth, well then the Van Halen people should have quit. Because right. David Lee Roth to me was Van Halen, not Eddie Van Halen or Alex Van Halen.
Yeah, I think he was like the backbone of the whole band, and they lost their charm at that point. I guess.
Yeah, I guess. And
he was the part too.
He was the party. He was the party boy. But then so is Sammy Hagar. I mean, if I'm being honest, Sammy Hagar you couldn't have found a better replacement for David Lee Roth.
True.
Than Sammy Hagar.
And they stayed popular and made
more hits. And they made more money probably, but
yeah.
I go back.
Wonder what happened to David Lee Roth.
Well, you
He
mean
went solo for a while,
for a
but
while?
I haven't
Oh,
heard
I
nothing
love
about
them.
him in years.
I love those songs. Oh yeah, I mean you got to realize he's probably
Probably 80.
yeah. I mean he's well. They were touring for years before they even made it big. So
Yeah.
And they didn't like him. Eddie Van Halen and them didn't like David Lee Roth in the beginning.
Really?
They thought he was too effeminate. They thought he was too much of a showman.
Well,
And
the Showboatin' was a made
that was-
band.
And I don't know how far back you go with Van Halen, but like Women and Children First, Wild Big Bad Bill is sweet with him now. You know that's Eddie Van Halen hated that shit. And I mean he did like I'm Just a Gigolo and all of that stuff.
Yeah, that's cool.
Eddie Van Halen hated that stuff. He wanted to do hard rock, and David really loved the old classics.
And he also made them more popular.
Of course he did.
If they would have done just what Eddie Van Halen wanted, they would have never gone anywhere.
And everyone talks about Eddie Van Halen being this master guitarist, and yeah, he's good.
He was good, but he wasn't the best.
No, and
By
neither
far, he
was
wasn't
Jimi
even in the
Hendrix, for
top
God's
10.
sakes.
Yeah, I don't think Hendrix was a top 10.
I don't think he was a top
player.
10 guitarist either.
He did a different sound than had been heard before. It was just a breakthrough sound, but he wasn't like super talented.
Yngwie Malmsteen.
He was no B.B. King on the guitar.
Well, no, that's true. No, see,
No, that's a man who play.
That's right. Somebody that can make things happen with their fingers that you'd think they had 10 fingers on each hand.
Yeah, no doubt. His
And-
hands were magical on the guitar.
Eddie was awesome. I'm not trying to take anything away from Eddie, but
And he had a gorgeous wife.
which one? Oh, Valerie Bertinelli.
Valerie
I like her
Bertinelli.
when she was fat. Oh, she used to be a little chubby thing.
She did, but I always
Damn, you know-
liked her on those TV shows. She was
Damn those weight loss shows. They ruin every good woman out there. All of a sudden you'll see there's Marie Osmond, man. She's looking good. She's probably about 220. She's got up there. She's got some meat on her bones.
now she's a twig.
Now she's a twig again. You know,
She's got to be getting pretty old.
they're
too.
playing with my emotions. Oh, they are getting old. That's why you can tell the further away they get back from the camera, the older they are.
Yeah,
When they're young, they're right there in the camera.
you can't slap enough makeup
They
on
put
old.
Vaseline on the camera just to make sure it's just focused just right.
Well, that's like our camera. It's not the clearest one in the world, and you're saying you should get a better one. I says nobody wants to see us that clearly.
No
We
kidding.
look better in a haze.
Yeah, the farther away we are, the better we look, and the better we sound.
I
Hey,
put
if our neighbor can hear us, hi neighbor lady.
oh yeah,
I
Tina.
don't know, some animal just ran by our little thing. Oh, hi Tina. If our other neighbor, he doesn't probably like us because he seems like a really nice guy, and we're probably loud.
Yeah, I was surprised you could hear us all the way across the canal because it's not like we're out here yelling.
Oh, I'm not.
But
Because
water echoes, you know.
our place on the St. Johns River,
You could hear somebody half mile away, like they're in your
me and Toni
backyard.
would be over there just talking like me and you were talking.
Yeah.
And the guy on the boat would be like, "Hey, what's going on?" And he's like, and that is a very wide river, and I'm telling you, it's 2 football fields away. And I'm like, "Shit, you can hear us?" And he's like, "Hear you? That's fine." And I'm like, "God," he goes, your voice carries across the water.
Yeah, you heard him.
I'm like, "Well, I guess it does. I mean, it just shoots."
So I guess I can't talk about nasty things.
I don't know. Well, who cares if we talk about nasty things? We're just honest, red-blooded American guys doing what red-blooded American guys do when after you've worked all your life and then you decide, well, it's time to relax, and that's what we do, is we relax. We relax on our own schedule. It's like I sleep.
Yeah, I work Florida
Weird.
hours,
Yeah, me too.
9 to noon, 5 days a week. If I work past noon, when I get a job, I tell my customers what I'm going to do for them, how much it's going to cost, approximately how long I think it'll take, and what the procedure is. Like, all right, we'll start here, we'll end there. And I say, oh, and by the way, I work Monday through Friday from 9 to noon, possibly 1. If those aren't hours that you find acceptable, I'm not the man for the job. And I've never been turned down for that reason.
Yeah, you got to know what your limitations are.
Yeah, I mean,
you're not.
I'm getting old. I can't.
We're not
My
20
back
anymore,
doesn't
right?
take it after 1 o'clock. I mean,
Yeah.
I go home and I got to drown my sorrows in beer.
With
Tragic.
me, I do everything in
Moderation.
I could have had this whole porch clean, spotless, bleached, painted, and everything in an hour and a half to 2 hours yesterday. I still don't even have the garbage out to the front door. I've been out here 16, 17 hours. I did get the carpets pulled up.
I did a couple of home projects yesterday.
Did
I
you?
was impressed myself. And I carried some
As
of
long as you impress
Jethro's
yourself.
impressions in the house.
Oh, that's good.
And I found one of his landmines.
You know, you got to learn to look for that shit. I can't let you borrow my dog. And
I didn't even see it. I don't know where I got it. I didn't come over to the shed, I don't believe.
Well, I raked all that up yesterday. I raked all that in front of the shed that I could see.
Yeah, there was one that was like kind of hidden in the path. I
Oh,
might
yeah,
have clipped that
he's
one.
good about that.
Oh, he's very sneaky dog.
He's good about. I know some people that'll if you pay them $10 a week, they'll come and clean up the dog poop from your yard. They'll come clean up your dog poop from your yard.
My buddy, I won't mention his name because it's such a gross thing. He had 2 big labs, and he was a snowbird. And he let him out. He had the electric fence deal, you know, where you put a wire in the ground.
Mm-hmm. Invisible fence.
Invisible fence, that's what it's called. And his dogs would go out, and they just wander around. They're big, beautiful dogs, loving as could be. And they would crap in his lawn. Of course, that's where they're supposed to.
Better than
in the house.
I mean, the neighbor's yard's better.
He'd wait till the end of the day after they've done all their business, and he'd go out there with like a grocery store plastic bag
and pick them up
with his hand. Just pick them up and drop them in there.
They
he got in
make a
trouble for
scooper.
throwing them in the freaking canal.
Oh, I bet he did.
Fish poop in the canal.
No,
Why
but
can't
the
the
bags,
dog?
man. It's the bags.
No, he didn't throw the bag in. He
Oh.
just threw the dog shit. But then he had to start doing with the bag.
It's different. Fish are different. They're supposed to poop there.
Yeah, that's their house.
That yellow thing that I use to sweep up garbage out here, that's for dog poop. It's
Scooper?
Yeah, that's exactly what it's for. It comes with a small rake. The Marvin took the rake. I'm telling you, that woman's something. She's special. I like her though.
Take your soul if you give it to her.
She sent Toni a picture of her, cold. She said, "I hate the cold," and I think that's so funny.
Well, Marvin, I hate the rent.
Yeah, well, yeah,
She's all right.
She's
She's
all
got her
right,
moments. She can be mean.
Yeah, but she did do you wrong on the rent. That's for sure.
Yeah, when you get jacked $250 overnight. It's
Yeah,
like,
and not
damn,
even expecting it.
that was like a third of my rent right
Yeah.
there went up.
Yeah, you know,
But you want to live here? Pay it.
the snowbird.
I don't want to
snowbirds-
move. I'd rather pay her that easily than move. If I ever move again, it's going to be in a pine box, going 6 feet deep. I hate moving. I
Yeah,
don't even want to help people move.
me too.
So if you need to move, don't call us. We'll call you.
Right. Damn, I have this somewhere. March.
Here we go through the mystery files.
Yeah, we're going to the mystery files.
This guy has more stuff in this computer.
I do have a lot. Well, this is on my YouTube. I got a lot of followers. I got a lot of.
Did you get up to 400,000 yet?
No, but I'm getting close to 400,000.
Get another plaque.
Grow my, yeah, at a million. At a million, yay! I don't care.
You live for the plaque.
I don't live for the black. I'm not one. You notice all these. If you go to watch other people's channels, it has the.
They display it on the back wall like.
Yeah, I don't do that shit. I hang on. I got my letter from Susan. And look at that. I got my letter from Susan, and
we're pushing the fancy number.
Rest in peace, Susan. But before, I was probably one of the last people that got the YouTube plaque before she retired, and then she died here about 6 months later. But
man, it happens to so many people. They retire.
I think she was
enjoy
sick.
life, and then poof, gone.
yeah, she died of cancer, and I think she was sick beforehand, and and then her son committed the unforgivable sin. I guess I don't want to say the S word, but he took his life. And or he died of a drug overdose, I think is what got him. And I think that was the final straw.
I see we got our dancing beer bottles.
Oh, yeah, they've been there the whole time. They haven't moved.
I didn't think they were moving. That's why I looked.
Oh, no, they're moving.
Because what we see on our screen is like
Tiny.
smaller than my phone.
Yeah, it's tiny.
You're looking at it bigger than we're looking at it.
And you see that bird's beak? That's about what my nose looks like. That's why I don't have the camera on. But except for the bird, he's decent enough to make his beak straight. My nose has been broke too many times. I can breathe out of my ear if I try to.
He hasn't been in any fist fights in this long time.
Because he's never been in any good bars.
That's right.
You go to a proper bar, I'm telling you right now, you will get that nose. You'll learn how to.
You'll learn to defend your nose or get it broken.
And I fixed my nose by myself the first time, because the first time it got broke, I was in the field, and I didn't get into a fight. It was just something we were working on tents and shit, and it literally laid over, and I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah,
but I had a big nose anyway, you know.
Yeah, it gets in the way.
And it kind of does. That's why hey, listen, man, I tried boxing in the military, and I'm
gonna hit your fist with my nose.
My gunny sergeant said, "You gonna do what now, Smitty?" I said, I'm gonna join the boxing team. He goes, Smitty, you can't do that. And I'm like, why? I said, I got a hard head. He goes, no, you do got a hard head. I give you that.
But you got a hell of a target on
he
the
said,
front
but man, your nose goes out there for like 6 feet. He said, those little bitty nosed Irish guys, those flat nosed black guys,
those guys got the perfect nose.
Those Puerto Rican guys, you know, these Spanish guys with these flat noses. He goes, those are great boxers. He said, he said, you've had your nose broken already. You know, as soon as your nose breaks, it bleeds and you cry. You can't stop it. Tears come out of your eyes. You can't stop it.
Yeah, it's like an automatic.
But see, there's a thing there where the bone just popped out. It's still there. But anyway, I straightened it myself. And I said, hey, guys, how does it look? And they're like, it looks great. I said, okay, somebody get me a fucking mirror right now. And it was already still laying over that way. So I ended up just pulling it and putting it back and putting it back.
That hurts, doesn't it?
It did hurt a little bit, but it was so much nerve damage that it didn't hurt that much.
Oh.
So then I get it there. I get it somewhat right. And so I'm like, nobody touch me. I'm going to try not to go to sleep for a while. And if I do, if y'all see me roll over, wake me up so I don't roll over, because in my nose I will be breathing out of my eyeball.
Yeah, I broke my face with a framing hammer. A guy
that was funny.
Smashed me in the face. And that
was funny though. I mean, it was funny. I'm sorry. It was funny.
Well, it was kind of funny. It was goddamn funny. I don't care who you are. So anyway,
hit the head with a hammer. I mean, a framing hammer of all hammers.
At full velocity, head first. You're gonna get hit. Hit good.
If it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen to you.
The little guy that we called Santa Claus on the job, he was just like a vagrant dude, and he was helping us clean. We were giving him $10 an hour to throw shit into the back of my truck to help go to the dump. He saw that and he says, remind me not to fuck with you. He says, you took that hammer right to the face and it did not take you down. He says, you stepped back once and went, damn, that hurt.
That was the beer problem.
Well, yeah. That and that, you know, I was working next to the track. There was a rail involved.
Well, it was just so crazy. I've seen some shit, but I haven't seen anybody get hit full hog with a hammer before in the head.
Yeah, that thing came.
I'm glad I haven't seen it.
But anyway, I go to the emergency room, and the emergency room doctor says to me, he goes, you broke your nose a few times, I see. And I said, yeah, a couple. He says, this last break you had before this one, he says, who set your nose? And I go, I didn't. He says, I can tell it wasn't a professional job. He says, your sinuses look like a freaking S curve.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He says, I can't believe you can breathe out of that son of a bitch.
I can't believe
I can only breathe out of one side.
One of those different house. Yeah, sometimes I can breathe out of it perfectly. But you know what I learned? And this might shock people. I want to give you YouTube frowns on medical advice, but I'm going to give you some medical advice real quick.
Yeah, but they have their own medical thing you can look shit up on.
Right, but they don't like it. If you have a stubbed up nose, open a can of Copenhagen and sniff a little bit on each side. It'll open it right up.
Oh, yeah. Little snuff.
It'll open it right up.
It does.
And if you can't afford Copenhagen, black pepper will do the same thing. it'll open it right up.
Horseradish. You get some good strong horseradish, take a whiff of that. That'll blow that shit right out of your head.
My wife loves that stuff. I can't eat it.
I love it. I could eat a spoon of it.
See, it's like you with your chili the other night. You're like, and I'm like tasting. I'm like, shit, that's hot. To me, it was hot 20 minutes later when you left and went in there to eat a bowl of it. It was like you in a microwave. Better than that. Hot, I want the warm. That's what, you know, I'm going to hospital.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to come up with something.
There's that redneck again. Get out of there, redneck.
Who is that bald man?
I don't know.
He's the guy putting in the bug.
Somebody, yeah. He's a fed. I know that.
I bet you weren't home that day. You ran out. Oh, go get your medicine?
No.
Still not?
No, well, because
You're not out yet.
no, they said, well, I'm out, but they said when Dixie.
Look out, he's gonna lose it.
Walmart said, no, I don't take those kind of meds. Walmart said,
I do.
I know you do. Thank God you do too, because you're already crazy and you take them. Walmart said that they were delayed, which I don't know why they'd be delayed because I don't have a doctor appointment for another year. Well, no, well, till March.
Oh,
If
you
she-
couldn't pay the bill, so they gave you another year to live?
No, yeah, really. No, yeah, they told me. My doctor told me. He goes, "Well, with this heart condition that you have, you're all right. So you'll probably live another 3 years." And I'm like, "Holy shit!"
All three?
I'm like, "Wow," because they didn't say anything like that at the heart hospital. I mean, literally the heart hospital.
Yeah.
You know, not the heart. They didn't say anything like that.
They didn't give you an expiration
No,
date.
they didn't say nothing. They were like, "No, you're fine. We don't know what's wrong with you, but good luck."
Yeah, you had a heart attack, but
Yeah,
you're
they're,
fine.
they're like, "Hey, it was congestive heart failure, but we don't know why." Because they ran that catheter up through my heart, and they're like, "You don't eat beef or nothing." I'm like, "I grew up on beef, so I don't."
I've eaten 2 cows in 1 month.
But I guess because as soon as I grew up, I'd never eat beef. Me and Tony hardly ever eat beef. I don't like it
Well, you
because
force fed it
I
for
was
20 years.
Yeah. That's all we ate. I mean, Jesus.
Well, when your dad has a beef farm, you know. It's like, well, what's for supper?
And he's the head of the meat cutters union.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
Just go out in the field and knock a chunk off there, boy. We'll throw it on a grill.
bandage that hide up a little bit. Just cover it up. We'll eat the other half next weekend. Just keep him alive. Keep him alive.
Yeah, we got to sell the hide, so don't mess it up too bad.
That's fucked up. They do have that cow in the University of Florida that has the
Oh,
jar.
the see-through thing? Yeah. You can see all into his gut and see how his stomachs work. All
And
that.
because there's so many stomachs. Hold on. Okay, Ron had a coughing fit. Ron has a cold and he smokes too much. You know, when I was younger, I always had asthma when I was a kid, real bad.
That's when you started to smoke because you figured it would cure it.
It always did. No, but seriously. And my dad would say, does it feel like phlegm? And I said, yeah, it feels like phlegm. You go to my glove box. Go to my glove box, take a sip of that. And it would be Jim Beam. He said, if that don't eat that stuff down off your chest, take another sip. It'll get it.
It burnt
I'm
all the way.
like 9 years old, walking through going, I'll whoop your ass, Brahma Bull. You don't mean shit to me. But as I get back up here, that's a Brahma boy. He'll kill you. I'm like, I'll whoop his ass. Right? That's what, see, that right there starts the whole, my mindset. Because here I was 9 years old, half drunk, because my daddy tried to get me to stop from coughing.
Oh, yeah.
All it
Looking out
takes is
for
2
you.
swallows when you're a little kid, you know?
Oh, yeah.
And he's just trying to help because
Now
he
it
knows
takes a
that
case
helps
and a
him.
half, you know.
Really, no shit. But I'm literally, I'm over there going, I'll go move these cows. Daddy goes, get your ass back in the truck. God damn it, you
Or you get
lightweight.
killed.
You lightweight. Get your ass back in the truck. I'm like, no, I got this shit. I'm telling you what, though, this is no joke. I was 16 years old. And I told you, you know, we all lived on a compound.
Right.
And so I left my house, and my cousin Tina, little whore, she
I think I know her.
you might. She was dating this guy. Now she was only 14. She was dating this guy who was on leave from Army Ranger School.
Oh, jeez.
So he's in his at least 19.
Yeah,
at least.
say 19, 20 years old.
So she comes
I
up.
think there's laws against that.
There are, but you know he was on the compound. So,
Oh, yeah.
but we didn't associate with that part of him.
Yeah, don't drink the Kool-Aid, by the way.
Well, what he said was, she
Stay
said,
out of Dad's glove box.
she said, yeah, she said, I see you walking down there like you think you're a little badass, Ronald. And I'm like, I'm just walking, going over to my cousin's house, Wade and Dick's house, Val,
Yeah.
know. So, to look at her while we talk and build motors.
Right.
And so, so she says, his name was Buddy. She said, I'm going to have Buddy kick your ass. And I said, oh, okay. So I take off my watch, I take off my shirt, and I throw it all over on the fence side. I said, you go get that pussy out here, I'll get him. Now, you got to realize at this point, I've always, not always, but since I was about 16, I've been 5'11", 6 foot, 6'1". I go back and forth because my back's all fucked up. But this guy's your height. He was full in gear, ready. And so he comes out there. He goes, I don't want to fight you. I said, well, fucking A, I want to fight you then.
Too late.
And so here comes my cousin Dick in his green Trino. And I said, hold on a minute. Dick, stop that car. Go get me the fucking tire iron out of the back of that car. Dick said, I ain't in this shit.
I want nothing to
He
do
said,
with
I
it.
ain't in this. I said, go get me that fucking tire iron out of that car. He said, I ain't in it. So he backs the car up. Now, my aunt's a sheriff's office. At that point, she's working for the murder department of the Marion County Sheriff's Office. She lives right there, right? And she goes, she says, Ronald, stop. I said, I can't help it. I'm not going to live and hide from nobody. I'll fight him. She goes, I know you will, dumbass, but he will kill you. And I'm like, well, he's going to get his chance. And then all of a sudden, here comes my dad.
Oh, now you're both going to
Dad
die.
walking down the street. Dad, that's what Dad said. Dad said, listen, he needs his ass whipped because he's got a mouth on him. But if you hit him, meaning me, he said, but if you hit him, then I'm going to kill you. And she's taking me to jail. But one way or another, this ends now or you die and I go to jail, and it doesn't matter. And my Aunt Patty's like, why don't I just take everybody to jail? And I'm like, fuck y'all, leave me alone. Let me handle this little pussy. And they're all like, he will kill you. And he's so funny because he was cool about it. He was like, look, I don't want to fight him, because he's just a high schooler. And I'm an Army trained guy. So armies are pussies. You don't scare me, nothing. And so they finally tell me to shut up. And so I go, and my dad says, get back to the house. Just like Toni.
You're 4 foot nothing and bulletproof.
Just like my dad says, just like Toni, get back to the house.
Get in the house. Ron, get in the house.
That's what my dad would do. But he came out when all that was over.
I'm going to get a T-shirt that says, Ron, get in the house.
Yeah. Well, when all that was over, probably about 3 days later, I was walking back down to my cousin's house to fix motors and look at my cousin because she was pretty, still is. And she got a pretty mouth. Anyway, she's pretty, man.
I had a cousin like that.
She was pretty. But
she played footsies with me one Christmas under the table.
Well,
I was like freaking out a little bit.
Val never did that, but
I'm like, what the hell is going on here?
I'm glad she didn't because I'd probably be dead.
Yeah,
but I was walking back down there one day, and he goes, "So we got this all taken care of?" And I was going to say, "Ain't shit taken care of, motherfucker." And he just looked at me, smiled. He goes, "You're going in." He said, "You're going in the Marines, aren't you?" I said, "No, I'm going in the Navy." He goes, "You're gonna hate it." So I left it. So anyway, I've talked to him since then. But anyway, I called him a pedophile. I told him to stop fucking my cousin. I said, "She's only 14. You're 20 something." Or I said, "You're at least 19. So stop fucking my cousin." And he's like, "Hey man, we're not having sex." I'm like, "Yeah, okay, right."
You're just friends.
Yeah. Yeah, you're home on leave. Probably AWOL as hell. Because he was there for a while, so he was probably AWOL as hell.
Oh,
he
yeah.
was probably AWOL as hell.
A little MIA going on.
He probably was not even in the army. He probably was a skinhead, had a short haircut, and had a nice little muscular build on him.
Oh, yeah. Hell, you can buy camo at the, after the, what do they call them? Outlets where you, Army surplus.
Well, yeah, but you better get your lies right.
You better walk the walk because you're going to get your ass beat.
You better get your lies right. Because if you wear Navy BDUs,
you can catch somebody in that shit so easy.
Because Army knows what their BDUs are, Navy knows what their blueberry BDUs are, Marines know, everybody knows what their uniforms are. And then when you put your I saw a guy in a uniform not too long ago, and he couldn't have been more than 35. He's got his Vietnam pin.
Yeah, right. You weren't even alive,
You wearing
boy.
your granddaddy shit, homeboy? And you know me, I'm like, hey, come here.
What's wrong with you?
And then I'm like, man, I want to thank you for your service. You're a bad motherfucker. You know, I know what those pins mean.
Lead them on. Hey, you want to see mine? Guess how old I am? 35, bitch.
Let's talk about those little pretty little medals you got on your ribbons. Those are pretty.
Did you buy them at a garage sale?
He was apparently going to a funeral and stuff. And he was like, "Oh, this is I dressed up in my father's uniform to show respect." And I'm like, "Yeah, you need to get that off.
Yeah, right.
You need to go home and take that off."
This ain't fucking Halloween, pal.
Because somebody, the right one sees you like that. The right one sees you like that, and it's like wearing a Hell's Angels patch and not being a Hell's Angels. You can get hurt for it.
Got an ass whooping coming.
If you're lucky. Yeah.
I had two of my friends up in New York that were in the Hell's Angels. And I'll tell you what, Big Dan was our meat cutter in the grocery store I ran, and he was one of them. And he was a huge mountain of a man. And he had these squinty, ice cold eyes. If he looked you in the square in the eye, he could scare the bejesus out of you without saying a word. But he liked me, which was a good thing.
I told you about Tow Bar and Thumper and Peg Leg Ronnie. They were outlaw bikers.
Yeah.
We had one named Bam Bam. And if
you told me about him too.
If you met Bam Bam, he was the nicest guy in the world. But he looked like Bam Bam from the Flintstones. He was a little stocky little son of a bitch.
Blonde?
Huh?
Blonde?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he looked like Bam Bam. But guess what? He carried a big stick like Bam Bam. And everybody called him Bam Bam. And he had a baseball bat. But it looked like, you remember as a kid, you get those plastic wiffle ball bats that were real fat on the bottom?
Yeah.
So someone made him this bat.
Damn.
I mean, that's what it looked like. It was one of those. It was
a club.
It was a club. But it looked like a bat. But it looked like one of those red wiffle ball bats you got as a kid, like a T-ball bat.
Yeah.
But it was all solid oak, and it was a mean son of a bitch.
We used to have wiffle ball bat fights. Me and my buddies when we were kids.
Yeah.
You'd get 3 or 4 of us, and you'd set up hay bales so like in a ring, and just beat the living shit out of each other with a wiffle ball bat till you either fell out over a hay bale or you said "I give."
We threw turnips at each other. Shot each other with slingshots, or we'd have BB gun fights.
We actually used 22s one time.
No, we never did that. Well, rat shot. We shot each other with rat shot BB. You've seen rat shot 22 shells. We shot each other with that.
A few of them.
I've got some of them in me. I wouldn't never let
an
you.
X-ray, you can see it.
If you can run your hand up my leg. Not that I'd let you on my fin.
I was gonna say
and you can feel them. I've had her do it. She goes, "No, don't make me do it again." I said, "See, you can feel it's a new one. There's a new one. It moved." And she's like, "I'm not touching it again." Seriously, that was a long boy. That was, she won't even remember that.
That's what my wife says every night. I ain't touching that again.
What was that joke? This couple was at their in New York City on Broadway at their honeymoon, and he's in the shower, and he asks his wife, "Hey, honey, get dressed up. I think we're good. I think you want to see Oliver Twist." And she says, "Honey, if you make me ask me to do something with that thing one more time, I'm gonna leave you already," or some shit. I'm not a comedian. I don't know how to tell jokes.
I kind of get where you were going though.
Yeah, Oliver Twist. If you want me to do something with that one more time, I'm leaving.
Like, all right, it's in here enough. Put it away.
Honeymoon night, you got to do what you got to do. That's where you find out your boundaries.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's when you say things like,
"Where's the electric fence line?"
"This, my dear, is a cattle prod."
"This is a taser." "If you do that to me, you will be tased."
Before you get married is when you discuss things like safe words. You don't wait till your wedding night to discuss things like safe words. If you don't already know.
My safe word is, "Oh baby, oh baby." Do that again.
I was this is how naive I was. I was in my 30s and I was online and I was in a group and everybody started talking about dominance and submissive, and they were saying sub-dom, sub-dom. They were a sub. And so I walk into the kitchen. I said, "What the fuck is a subdom?" I said, "I don't understand what that means." He goes, "Submissive." And I literally, my wife had to explain to me what the fuck they were talking about because I had no clue. Hand on the Bible, I had no clue. She's like, "Well, it's where a woman is submissive to a man." And I said, "Like the Bible?" She goes, "No, no, not really like the Bible, honey. It was more
sort of
like
like what you watch on the porn channel."
yeah. Well, we didn't have that. We couldn't. We have never. I have never been willing to pay for cable.
You know,
I am
watching
a
porn
fucking
is like
tired ass.
such a waste of time.
With AI now, you can make it yourself.
And put music to it.
Can't dance to it.
Ain't got much of a beat, Dick, but I can dance to her.
You know what? When you walk into a guy in the barracks in the shower, it would just come to you and say, "Easy, boy." And he'd say, "It's my dick. I'll watch it as fast as I want to."
That's right.
He'd say, "Easy, easy down there. You're going to skin that thing."
Don't rub the knob right off that. You know, God was thinking ahead when he built your pecker.
Yeah.
He put the head on it so your hand don't slide off the end.
Spoken like a man is circumcised. Let's see, what else can we talk
I'm
about?
glad I was a baby when that happened.
My dad was...
I do not recall.
My dad was 53, 54. Yep.
That don't sound like it feel good.
His something happened. His skin grew together, some weird shit, and they said, "We got to circumcise you." And I'm like, he's like, "You want to laugh?"
No, do you next, boy.
Yeah, wait till we get home. Hey, look, man, I stepped on a toothpick. This
He'll
toothpick,
do it with Max.
the toothpick went into my foot. My mother had this real bright red, like a Trump hat red shag carpet, and everybody had toothpicks. That was just
And shag carpet.
yeah, well, yeah,
That was the hot thing in the 70s.
The hall was what seemed like 5 miles long. I mean, it was just forever, and I would just run.
Especially when Dad was chasing you.
Yeah, he was. I ain't chasing nobody. My dad said, "Stop, you come." But
Come here, boy.
that toothpick broke, and my skin covered up over that toothpick in my foot. So my dad was the head of the meat cutters union for Swift Meat Packing Company and the Teamsters Union.
So he's cutting your foot off.
So my dad's like, "I got the knife, son. Don't you worry about it." He reaches in his pocket. He hands my mom. He goes, "Take your cigarette lighter and burn this knife. It'll be fine." And I'm like, "What?"
That bitch is sharp as hell.
Oh yeah, it'll fillet it, right? So he gets my foot up there, and he's got my foot in basically a fucking headlock. And
Because he knows you're gonna move.
"Well, no, but he's just easier for him to see, you know."
Right.
He's got me. I'm laying on my belly. I'm all messed up. It don't even hurt, right? Because I'm not stepping on it. And then he starts cutting on it, and I twitch. He's like, "I know it doesn't hurt."
Quit moving.
He says, "I know it doesn't hurt. I do this to your mama all the time, cutting corns off her feet. You'll be fine."
Oh, damn.
So he cuts a little, like a tornado thing out of there, and he goes, and he's trying to stick his knife in there, and he starts pulling on it. He goes, "I got it." He goes, "No, it keeps slipping away." And my dad said, "Well, I guess we got to take his little ass to the hospital then, because I can't let that stay in there." You know, at this point, I'm thinking, you look back, here it is right now. It's 2024. You try that shit on your kid now, you're going to prison.
Oh, yeah, no shit.
You're going to prison. My dad's like, "You'll be
One for
fine."
impersonating a doctor and surgery,
Really?
and 2 for child abuse.
You got a beer?
Yes, I do.
No, yeah, child abuse for sure.
Yeah, it's amazing what you can't do that we endured as children.
We thought, and that's still, if my parents had to have done anything else, I'd have probably been in prison.
My wife told me stories of her dad was, old school, big tough guy.
Well, he was
And-
military too, though, right?
Yeah, he was in the Navy.
3rd generation or something. Yeah.
Yeah. And she said when we were kids, if you did something wrong, she says, my old man, he'd kick you right in the ass. She says, I think he lifted me halfway down the hallway and I landed on my ass from one good kick in the ass. And she says that had to be a good 6-7 feet I flew.
My
And then
dad.
he smashed the shit out of her younger brother, Toni. He smacked the shit out of him with one of his crutches when he had broke his leg during a motorcycle incident. They used to race that flat track.
Oh, no, that sounds
Motorcycles with no brakes to go 100 miles an hour around a circle.
So sprint cars with two wheels.
Yeah, that's
Sprint. That's
crazy.
why I respect the shit out of sprint car drivers.
Oh, they're nuts.
NASCAR, not so much. Sprint cars, yeah.
Yeah, you don't got all that fancy
Yeah.
protection and
Now, old
sprint-
NASCAR, like in the 70s, that was totally different monkey.
Oh yeah, you go down to a dealership, buy a
That was the-
Charger,
that was
knock
the-
the windows out of it, tear the second seat out of the front and the back seat out, and you were going racing.
That was the best part of NASCAR. If you were a car salesman,
oh, fuck
man,
yeah.
you wanted that Chevy
Win on
Silverado to
Sunday,
win. You
sell
wanted
it on
something to
Monday.
win. He didn't care. Because whatever you saw racing on Sunday, you could go buy brand new off the lot on Monday.
That's what they used to say. Win on Sunday, sell them on Monday.
That's exactly right. But now you can't, man. Shit.
None of these cars even look, well, they finally
Yeah.
have changed them.
It looks
for
like
a few years, they all look like carbon copies. You can tell Ford from a Chevy
Right.
to a Dodge.
But you can't now.
And
If
now, what the fuck is Dodge? Dodge is no more. Now it's some S name.
Uh-huh.
It's got a whole new name now.
It's not Mopar anymore.
No, they sold out the Stellantis
Oh, I know.
or something.
Well, I thought it was
bullshit.
Jeep. I thought Jeep. I don't know.
And then there's another new one. It's called a Genesis. Where in the hell do these companies come from? I never even heard of them until I saw the
Genesis.
commercial, and I'm like, a Genesis car? It's like, what the fuck is
I've
that?
never heard of a Genesis car.
I know. I've never even seen one other than on a commercial.
I never even heard of
And
it.
where in the hell do you buy it?
I know. I don't know.
I know my Ford and Chevy and Toyota and Nissan dealer, they're all local, owned by the same guy, Alan J.
Alan J. Well, Alan J. is
He's all over the
yeah,
place
yeah.
now.
You know who I hear is really good is Gilbert's Automotive.
Oh, yeah?
I hear Gilbert's is top of the line. One of my friends is I don't know, Steve. His wife is Deb. I know Deb real well. Deb is cool. Is his name Steve? His wife is Deb, but he's a professional bass fisherman, and that's who I get all my fisherman information from.
Fishing tips.
My fishing tips, and he is, by the way, on the radio in Clewiston. If you are so unfortunately living in Clewiston, you can listen to him there. Steve Daniel is his name. Steve and Debbie Daniel. Anyway, he told me that the best fishing days of the month will occur over the next 4 days. And he said it's because we've got a cold front coming in on Wednesday. And so the conditions should be better on today and tomorrow.
Deer are like that. They move with the weather.
For the best fishing experiences. But that's what Steve said. But anyway, I don't know. Steve did something that was funny or something. I said. I don't know. I can't remember what I was talking about. I just know that I had to do the fishing report because if I don't, then my producer gets mad at me. Really, she goes out of her way to print all that stuff for us, and
she's got impeccable handwriting. It looks
She does
just like
have-
a typewriter.
it does. She's. I'm telling you, that's she was an editor for a couple newspapers and wrote books and stuff. She's
She ain't just another pretty face.
no, she's not, and she's occasionally moody.
Not a woman.
No, yes. It might surprise you. See, you only see the outside in.
Spend
But
a week in
occasionally-
my shoes, right?
occasionally. Are you kidding? I got the easiest life in the world. She doesn't give me no shit for nothing. She told me to put the air conditioning filter in yesterday, and I'm like, today? She's like, well, I just need to get it in. I'm like, all right. So I still haven't done it. But if I don't do it today, because she's going to be just like my dad.
That is a 30-second job.
But you try to use this body and climb up on that thing to get up there and talk. Well, you're
I
16
just
foot
reach
tall.
it.
See, I'm
I
not
just
as
reach
tall
up
as
and
him.
change it. It's in the ceiling in the hallway.
Yeah, I know. Okay.
Yeah.
Haven't had that shit.
It's 12 by 24 if you're interested.
No, I have one. I got it. I got a little stool that I'll stand on and do it. I just haven't done it yet. It took me 17 hours to do a 12-minute job yesterday, and I wasn't even drinking. I was
Therein lies the problem.
There is the problem. I was just out here trying to have a good time and listen to my little songs, and then Toni comes out and goes, if you're gonna be up at 2 o'clock in the morning listening to music, could you not listen to music so loud that I can hear it way up in the front bedroom? And that means that the neighbors can hear it. Now Tim probably doesn't care, but the new guy probably does. And so I said,
I think his bedroom's on the other
I
side.
said, I said, there's no way. I said, I wasn't listening to any fucking music last night. I wasn't listening to any music last
Did
night.
you hear that idiot freaking taco head car go by
Yeah.
with the speakers blasting him from under his car?
Yeah, was it under his car?
Yeah, and he went down all kinds of side streets.
Yeah,
It's like,
I heard that yesterday.
it's like, what the fuck is wrong with people?
I don't know, but that was maybe
like,
that's the new
dude.
ice cream man.
I got a great stereo. You can hear it by my car.
I don't know. I've done that. I don't know. I've done
I've
that.
never had external speakers.
No, me either, but I've had them to where you could hear them from 15 miles away. So
Shit, yeah, I've had kick-ass stereo.
I'm bad,
in my
yeah.
car.
Yeah, I remember Sherwin Vega. You remember Sherwin Vega?
Yeah.
That was nice speakers back then, and they were pretty. You'd always pull the grid off.
Oh yeah.
Had that big red rim around them, the big white CV.
Yeah.
That's why you bought. I always bought Cooper tires, that white wall Cooper tire, the raised white letter Cooper tires, and Michelin's because they look so cool.
Yeah, the lettering was cool.
But Cooper was better because no one really knew what Cooper was. Everyone knows what a Michelin is. Michelin just means you spent too much.
Spent too much, yeah.
Cooper meant you spent too much, but it was
Cooper
obscure.
tires are a good, long-lasting,
I love
durable tire.
Yeah, I love them.
If I had my druthers and could pick any tire, money aside, I would go buy 4 Coopers for my truck.
I love Cooper tires. I had on my
They'll last 40, 50,000 miles.
my original when I first got my truck, it came with regular 15-inch tires.
Yeah.
But it had 70-inch Coopers all the way around it, and it had the old chrome moon rims, the deep dish,
The baby moon hubcaps?
No, the rim.
Oh.
Like they looked almost stock, but they were chromed and they were this deep. I mean,
Oh, nice.
because they were 70 series tires, they were wide, so the rim was wide enough that they didn't balloon over.
Right.
The rims were that wide. I mean,
Cool.
it was just and then I just let that truck go. It broke down on me. And
I crashed that bitch and walked
I called my
away.
cousin. I said, "You've been wanting this truck for how long?" He goes, "Since you bought it, I want that truck." I said, "Okay, that motherfucker just broke down on the way back from Micanopy.
Go get it.
You want it, you can have it." He goes, "What about all the tools in the box? You can keep them bitches too." I'm mad at that truck.
They didn't fix the truck.
I'm mad
so
at
you
that truck.
keep 'em.
Man. I started cruising the tire to get home one time from Gainesville. Grabbed my screwdriver, shot a baby screw in there. As a matter of fact, that's a lie. I used a nut driver because they didn't have cordless drills back then.
That was the best invention ever.
Yeah, it really is.
And you don't even own anything to use the gas. Everything you had is electric,
Everything.
except for your fire pit.
Except for my fire pit and my newly found pressure washer. It's yours.
I paid good money for you to store that.
I know, it don't hurt me now. The problem is every time I see it, I'm reminded that I have to use it.
I know. That'd be perfect now that the carpet's out
No, I
there.
know. Well, that's kind of what I was thinking. I was thinking this would be a perfect time to do it.
It's a good blast-o-matic.
Yeah, and then I can go ahead and spray off them carpets.
Yeah.
And if it destroys them, it ain't my shit. It ain't my shit.
Oh, they were in here?
Yeah,
Oh, I didn't know that.
she put all that shit in here.
I did not know that.
Yeah, she put it all in here, and then I'd be coming here. There's cats everywhere, and I said, "Oh God, this is gonna smell like piss." So I ran the whole 15,000 cats out, closed the door. There was cats. It took forever to get the cat piss out of everything.
Oh, I bet. Yeah, they had strays in this freaking place like they're.
I mean, in the house though, dude.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
she'd let them right in.
These people, I love cats, but I ain't fucking insane. Well, I mean, I am a little bit insane.
My cat's she's being put on the porch per se. Not that she doesn't like the porch, but I mean she's on deck to be kicked in the butt. Yesterday, her and my kitty and my wife's kitten were doing one of their chase each other like maniac moments.
Zoomies.
The zoomies. And mine has an attitude, and she knows that my wife Jody is the reason that this little pain in her ass is in our house.
Right.
Well, when we first got the kitten, I mean, I could hold her in my hand. She was so little. My cat didn't like it.
Oh, I bet not.
And she knew who was responsible. So she would get in my wife's side of the bed and shit. which made my wife very pissed off.
She did it again. Is that why she's regaled in the back?
She went out. She chased her all around the house. They were both going like freaking maniacs. And then Jody's in the shower. I'm laying there in the bed, and I'm looking at her, and she's got this weird stance down at the bottom of the corner of my wife's side of the bed. And I went and kind of pushed her to see what she was doing. I'm like, that ain't right the way she's sitting there, just hovering. And I twapped her tail, and she meowed at me. Then she stands up, and she takes the sheet and just covers it, like pulls it all into a pile. You know how like they do in a litter box, they bury her shit. She was burying her fucking piss on the bed.
Yo,
and I had to go clean the
washed
sheets
yesterday, didn't you? Yeah, because I'm sitting there going, bragger. I can smell the dryer. I'm like, he's bragging.
No.
By the way, have you ever used washing machine to sell? I need a used washing machine, Lake Placid.
Less electronics, the better.
Yeah, less electronics, the better, and the cheaper, the better. And or I'll go to your house and pay you to let me use your washing machine as long as you've got a pool.
Oh, yeah, you got a pool.
You got to have a pool. I don't want to swim in it. I just want to sit by it and have drinks when the thing does its thing. Remind me of my mama in the old days.
Except she had the girl that came in and did it while she sat, popped pills, and drank on the pool side.
Oh, man. We did have a maid once. And Mama would clean the house so good before the maid got there because she didn't want to look like she lived in it.
Oh, I know. People do that all the time. Oh, I got the girl coming over to clean.
What are you
My
doing?
buddy Charlie does that. He says, "Oh, the girl's coming to clean today," and he's got his shop vac for our construction stuff. He's got the shop vac, and he's got his freaking couch laying on its back in the middle of the living room. He says, "Oh, I got to clean under the couch." I says, "That's what you hired the girl for." Well, I don't want her to see all that dust bunnies under there. I'm like, what do you think you hired a cleaning girl for?
My Aunt Joyce had a maid, and my mama said, well, if Joyce can afford a maid, we can surely afford a maid. And my dad's like, if you want a maid, get a maid. Shit, I don't care. So she calls this Melody Maids or Maids by the Day or some shit. This was in like 85.
I remember the company called
it was something like
Maids
that.
By the Day or something.
Mama's like, well, when can you come? And they said, well, we can be there tomorrow. She's like, no.
I gotta clean the house
first. Friday. She's like, yeah, we can be there Friday. So Mom's up there. I'm like, what are you doing? She goes, I gotta clean the house. She's up there dusting. She's like, pull me all them. We call them whatnots because the figurines,
knickknacks.
Yeah, knickknacks. Well, Mama called them whatnots. She said, get all that stuff off the whatnot shelf and let's get it. And then we clean it. I'm up here dusting. I'm like, what are we doing? Daddy just said that you got a maid. She goes, I'm not gonna let her come in here and just see this house like this. I'm like, well, shit. All you gotta do is hire a maid once a year and you get a spring cleaning. Just leave. Because I'll tell you what, that maid never ended up coming. I think his dad called her and said, you're just going to be embarrassed when you show up.
Because there ain't nothing to clean.
Ain't nothing to do. And wasn't that, but Mom kept us a clean house anyway because she kept us kids outside.
Right, through your ass.
I'm telling you, Mama would wake up, cook Daddy's breakfast, get rid of him, get us gone, and she didn't cook our breakfast. Our breakfast was a bologna sandwich. Or you could have cereal, or you could make yourself eggs if you wanted to, but basically it was just easier for a bologna sandwich and go. And that's what we did. But then when we got home from school, you went into the laundry room, changed your clothes. You didn't even come in the house. You didn't because it needed to be clean when Dad got home.
Oh yeah, don't mess the house up.
Oh yeah, it had to be clean when Dad got home, and you better be there. And Dad would typically get home about 6:30, 7 o'clock, and dinner was done.
7:01, you better be
your ass was there already in a bath and clean. And that was the 70s, boy. The 70s was something else.
Yeah, I don't want none of you dirty little kids sitting at the table.
Oh, and
that's when people ate together at a table. None of this sitting in the living room on a TV tray.
It's like when I say, hand me that bottle of hooch or whatever, I'll say, just hand it to me. I don't like to reach over. Because you reach over when we were eating, if you reached over, but you'd get that spoon on your hand, and it only takes about 2 times. It only takes a couple times of that.
Yeah, the old serving spoon will get your attention.
I got my ass whipped with everything from serving spoons to flip flops to.
Mama was deadly with a flip flop.
Mama had, those goody brushes in the 70s. They had those goody brushes.
Oh yeah,
they were called. Yeah, it was brown, and it was about like 3 inches by 4 inches, and it had those quills.
Yep.
Basically, like, what do you call them things? Porcupines. She broke one of those on my ass one time because I stole some bubble gum. You want to steal? Is that what you want to do? You want to steal? Let me show you what happens to you when you steal. Whack! Thank God she didn't have any clothes hangers.
My mother used to take a wooden spoon when we were kids. You did something wrong, she'd smack you on the ass with a wooden spoon. I don't know, a couple times maybe. And as I got older, you know, it
Didn't hurt anymore.
didn't hurt no more. And she'd broken so many of her damn wooden spoons. Then she found those orange Hot Wheel tracks.
Oh shit!
They will leave a fucking welt and
Oh, my
catch
God.
you 3 feet out.
Oh my God! And that's like a whip.
Oh yeah, she could take and snatch that freaking Hot Wheels track and crack you on the side of the leg. Oh my God, that hurt.
There was this old couple that worked for Dad that lived on the property, and we just called them Charlie and Granny. He was full-blooded Cherokee Indian. She was full-blooded German. When I remember them, they were already in their 70s. They were old. The house that they lived in, they built, and it had a dirt floor.
No shit.
It was on Dad's property, but this is just what that's it. If you want to live here, this is what you gotta do. And he was accepted. We just accepted him. Well, Mama would say, y'all go stay with Granny for the next 4 hours. I got things to do. Take pills and drink wine, you know.
Mailman.
Mailman, milkman, whoever, whatever. And I got a mouth on me. Now, none of my siblings, everything was cool. They were like, oh, they would sit there and watch TV and go feed the chickens or whatever. And I'm like, I didn't like Charlie because he would yell at me for riding my motorcycle too fast. And we'd get into arguments. And here I am. I'm like 8 years old, basically trying to tell some 75-year-old man he don't know shit.
He forgot more shit than you already knew.
Oh man, he forgot more shit today than I'll ever know. So it was Granny would come in and she'd say, You argue with Paul? I'm like, no, I'm arguing with Charlie. He ain't my grandpa. And then she would say, who's gonna do it? And I'd say, I guess I am. Because that meant who was gonna go get that peach tree?
Who's getting a stick?
Who's getting a switch off the peach tree? See, the first time I got a big old the first time I got a little bitty branch. I'm thinking this won't hurt. Holy shit, man.
Yeah, smaller branch.
Holy crap, man.
Next time.
You know what? Thinking about that, my ass puckers up. It still hurts. I still think about that right now. And that was 35, that was 50 years ago.
I would take a 2x4 over a
switch. Later on, I learned to go take the ones that are about the size of your thumb. At least it'll break. Oh, that was crazy, man. They just, you learned manners. Well, I didn't, but I mean, most people would have. I got a mouth. I can't fix it. I've tried. I'm polite in public.
And you don't go into public.
But I know that's why I don't go into public. But if you're nice to me, though, I'm nice to you. But I'll tell you what I do know. I don't like that short little blonde bitch at the Winn-Dixie. I like everybody else at that store. I've met everybody at that store. That one woman. I just don't know what she's
so bitchy.
She's just such a mean person. I didn't ask you to take the job. If you don't want the job, then don't work there.
Yeah, right.
But you know what? I have
cut the rest of us a break and find a job you like.
I have a question. I don't know if I can ask it on here. There's only one person watching. Listen. At what point do queers start talking with that queer talk? Is it when they suck the first dick? Or is it when they get pounded in the ass? When does that happen?
I think it's the first dick because their lips are sticking together.
I don't understand what it is because me and Toni were talking.
Yeah, just by the way someone talks and they're.
I'm just wondering. I'm like, do you do that on purpose? So when does that happen? Does that happen after your first gay experience? Or do you do that because you're advertising? I don't understand because
Yeah, because before you knew
I
they
don't have
were
a
gay, they
problem with-
didn't talk that way. Once they come out of the closet,
I
then
don't
they're
have a-
all of a sudden la-di-da.
I don't have a problem with gay people. I've got a lot of friends that are gay people. I just don't understand
Why do you have to do the
lisping and all the I don't-
motions?
and that's cool. But if you want to be a chick, then well, this is the time. This is the season. You can get it done free before while Biden's still president. I don't understand. I don't understand why some of my lesbian friends are more of a man than I am, but they hate men. They're like, "You want to go hunting?" I'm like, "Not with you, honey, because I'm afraid you might shoot me. You're a better shot than I am. No." And you got a shorter haircut. No, I don't.
Really. I'm jealous of your beard.
No kidding. I don't have no problem with that. I just don't have any problem with that. But what I have a problem with, and I don't even have a problem with that. What I wonder is, when do you start talking like how I don't know how to do it.
The lispy little thing.
The lispy little thing. I don't know when that happens. I don't know if that's like.
And what is it with the wrist thing?
I
They
don't
always
know.
flop their wrist
I don't
when
know.
they talk to you.
I don't know, but I have a friend named Christopher Driver, and he talks very, very, very effeminately gay. But with him, he's done that since he was a baby. It's a speech impediment of some kind.
Exactly.
No. And he's boy named Soothing.
Oh,
Boy named Soothing. He talks like that, so everyone was calling him a sissy and talking like all through Cow Patty High School and all that.
right.
You do not want to butt heads with this guy.
He beat the living hell out of
He
you.
will beat you like he owns you. He will beat you bad.
Beat you like you owe him money.
Because I remember they would say, "Hey, Chris is gonna go fight some guy," and I'm in my 30s. I'm like, "Fuck this! I am not missing this." Because if he's still going at it now,
There'll be an ass whooping,
there's gonna be
BC.
some blood somewhere. I'm not. I know where my money's going because he always talked. He had that gay speech thing,
Right.
and everyone's like, they would say, homo and all this, and he'd be like, "Okay," and he'd just take his shit
Bring
off.
it.
Let me show you what this homo can do. There's certain things, man. You don't judge a book by its cover because
that book might just be thick enough to take your head off.
That book just might be a boy named Sue.
Do you do?
That guy was,
named
and he was the nicest guy, man. I mean, he was just such a nice guy. I mean, he was just as friendly as he can be, but somebody smart has to get drunk, come out their mouth the wrong way. Because he wasn't no big bulky guy. I mean, he was my size. He was a big dude, but
average guy, yeah.
Yeah, but
Put a can of whoop ass on
you come out your mouth the wrong way, he would teach you to use the other side of your mouth.
Get your manners one way or another.
That side of your mouth you ain't using for a while. It was something else, man. But you've had friends like that.
Yeah. I have a friend of mine who has been a friend for many, many years, and he has kind of a lispy thing to his voice, and he's just as not gay as they can get.
Yeah.
I mean, he was kicking lady killer for years.
Not literally.
Well, no, I mean he had his way with the women.
Yeah, I was just.
And he always had gorgeous girlfriends, and plenty of them. And he had no problem picking up girls at bars, but he had that little lispy tone to his voice. And there'd be a couple of people, talk like a little under their breath, like, well, on the gay side, yeah.
Or like the lovers.
Oh, like my loafers. And he would always say, "Tim, take care of that."
Chris would take care of it. The problem was, I grew up with some kids that if you didn't stop them, they would probably have killed the other kids.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up with kids that threw hay they would throw hay for 2 hours before they went to school, come home for lunch, throw hay, go back to school, come back from school, throw hay. And I got one cousin.
That was me when I was younger.
I got one cousin who is now in the business and has been since he got out of high school. He went to college. He could do anything that he wanted to do, but he is in dead animal recovery.
Oh, renderer.
Huh?
A renderer.
I guess. I think that, I don't know. But if you have a cow that dies and it's only been there for no more, I think it's no more than 6 days. I don't know exactly.
Yeah, he goes and gets your fill
and
for
sells it to the dog food place.
Nice. Chow chow.
And that's where, and then And listen, you don't want to do that job.
No, it's a smelly ass job.
You know, first of all, you got to run the possums out of the ass of the cow, but in the horse and everything. But and you got to pay him to do that.
Oh yeah,
You got to pay him, so you get paid.
they make good money.
Yeah, he gets paid for him to go do it. Plus, he gets paid by the Purina company that's there in town,
Right.
Seminole Feed in Ocala.
He's double dipping.
He's double dipping. He's making good money. He's driving better shit than we are. I'll tell you. Maybe not more than you. Better. I mean, I don't have $100,000 in my driveway. That's why if you need any remodeling done at your house in Lake Placid, you need to call Tim because someone's going to have to pay that insurance and car payment.
I got a car payment, man.
Jesus Christ, he's got two of them.
No, the truck's paid for.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I bought that truck, cash money in an airport. My friend brought it to me, drove it from Pennsylvania.
Oh, that's the guy that owns the dealership.
Yeah, brought it down from Florida. I met him at the airport. His wife shows up in a rental car. He shows up in the pickup. My wife and him hopped in the back of the pickup truck with a paper sack with $12,000 in it. They count the money in the back seat, and we went to lunch, and I drove away with the truck.
Typically, that's something that you see on America's Most Wanted.
Yeah. And then, lo and behold, it did seem a little shady because he forgot the title.
Oh, I would have freaked, but you knew him.
Oh, yeah, I had faith in him.
Yeah.
It took me 3 months to get the title. So what did I do? I drove it with a photocopied Pennsylvania dealer plate that I used a highlighter to make it have the blue and yellow on it. And I put a tinted cover over it. And I put packing tape on the paper.
You are blessed by Jesus.
I drove that thing for 3 or 4 months that way. But I drove it a year before that the same way.
You are blessed by Jesus.
I've had sheriff's cars pull right up behind me at a red light. Of course, I got to put my beer down now. Holy motherfucker, that can't be right.
Huh?
That can't be
Absolutely it is. Well, I think that it is time for me and Tim to go because I have to move some carpets before my wife wakes up and the producer wakes up.
It's garbage day.
And it is garbage. Oh, my goodness. It is garbage day, and I haven't got the garbage out.
I got ahead of it. I did mine yesterday.
But we thank y'all for listening.
Peace out.
And we want you to listen more every day.
Send us a comment. Let us know how you like it.
Well, I mean, but
a thumbs up is good. Anything.
What we've learned is that if you don't comment, then that means you must not hate us. Because at least you'll tell us we'll kill ourselves. Bye-bye.
Came home late from a moonshine run. House was empty, her leaving was done. Took her suitcase and the dog along. Left me a note, you better off alone. Figured I'd lean on my Tesla truck for a ride, but it booted up, said no room inside. Rolled itself out of the driveway slow. Tail lights fading, left me in the cold. Even my Tesla truck is up and gone. The silent motor hums a goodbye song. Left me here in this broke down chair, talking to ghosts that ain't even there. Doesn't take much for a man to lose touch. First my girl, but that didn't bother me much. The good Lord knows it's just plain wrong. I just noticed my Tesla truck is gone. Spotted it live on my tracking app. Parked by a bar and I'm tired of this crap. My dog's in the cab, wagging his tail, and my ex in the back doing Charlie Sheen rails. They're living it up, it's out on their own, posting selfies on Instagram with its data phone. It's electric power, don't need no gas, while I'm stuck here watching my Bitcoin crash. Even my Tesla truck is gone. Silent motor hums a goodbye song. Left me here in this broke down chair, talking to ghosts that ain't even there. A man can quickly lose touch. First my girl, but I don't miss her much. The good Lord knows it's just plain wrong. I just found my Tesla truck up and gone. They say the future's bright and clean, but I really miss the days of gasoline. It had no clutch to fix, no tank to fill, but I have Tesla payments still. Even my Tesla truck is gone. Electric motor spinning to a highway song. Took my dog, took my last damn beer. Left me stranded, drowning in tears. A man can only lose so much. Now I'm praying for a little luck and a little water gets under the hood. When it blows up, it'll stay gone for good. So if you see that truck on the open road, battery fading fast with no tow load, tell it I'm here and living large, and don't call me when it needs a fresh charge.